Councilor Norbury.
That the April 15th, 2024 regular council meeting minutes be adopted as presented.
Seconder, Councilor Hoffman. Any errors or omissions, council? Staff?
No, none.
Okay, all in favor? Carried. April 16th, 2024 special council meeting minutes. Recommendation, please. Councilor Noxana. Oh, sorry, Councilor Hoffman.
That the April 16th, 2024 special council meeting minutes be adopted as presented.
Seconder, Councilor Noxana. Any errors or omissions, council? Staff?
No.
All in favor? Carried. April 16th, 2024 budget council meeting minutes. Councilor Noxana.
That the April 16th, 2024 Budget Council meeting minutes be adopted as presented.
Seconder, Councilor Clickash. Any errors or omissions, council? Staff?
None.
All in favor? Carried. April 22nd, 2024 budget council meeting minutes. Recommendation, Councilor Norbury.
That the April 22nd, 2024 budget council meeting minutes be adopted as presented.
Seconder, Councilor Noxana. Any errors or omissions, council? Staff? All in favor? Carried. April 29th, 2024 budget council meeting minutes. Recommendation, Councilor Noxana.
That the April 29th, 2024 Budget Council meeting minutes be adopted as presented.
Seconder, Councilor Clickash. Any errors or omissions from council? Staff?
No.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Any business arising from the minutes? Council? Staff?
No business rising.
Thank you. Delegation, School District 59, Kelly Cruz in attendance to present an adventure race project to council and request financial support. Welcome. Councillor Julik.
I'm going to excuse myself as I'm a trustee on the school board.
Okay, thank you. Just 1 second.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Right.
Okay, floor is all yours.
Thank you. So I'm a teacher with School District 59, and I'm helping this year with the Gwillem Lake Adventure Race Committee. We are seeking donations to help offset costs associated with putting on the Gwillem Lake Adventure Race. The registration fee that the registrants pay helps pay for a sweater and the event and offset some food costs. But we are seeking monetary donations for specific items needed. The donations would be used to purchase food, safety equipment, course equipment, and help us to complete the racer swag bags, the little gift bags that they get. So I've come to the council to ask for an amount of $2,000 if they'd be interested in helping us continue this tradition with our Gwillem Lake Adventure Race.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. Thank you for coming in as a delegation and filling council in regards to the Gwillem Lake.
Thank you.
Councilor Norbury.
Thank you, Mayor Kauka. Thank you for coming, Mrs. Cruz. Yeah, I'm aware of the adventure race. I know I had to donate a pair of my shoes to a racer who had size 14 shoes, and they couldn't find size 14 shoes anywhere, and things got around. So, I'm glad he was able to compete. I think it's a great thing that the kids are out doing every year. It promotes healthy lifestyles, healthy activities, and I think it's great that the school district puts this on. So, yeah. I'm sure Mayor Kauka would say the same thing, but just so you're aware, we don't make decisions at the meetings that people present at. No. But, yeah.
All right.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you very
but
much.
No.
Oh, no.
Don't go yet.
Sorry.
No, you're not done yet. Councillor Noxana.
Thank you. I was going to echo what Councillor Norbury said. It's really great that you came in because I think that this race is a huge benefit to our students and our community. So it's really great that the school district has continued that tradition of hosting it. So I'd like to thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Any other questions from council? I guess my question, do you get any funds out of School District 59 in regards to their budgets?
I know that So the students have like a fee that they pay once they get their team together. We do like some fundraising and different things like that. So again, but a lot, we kind of look for sponsors and for the teachers who volunteer to kind of help, or not even teachers, just school district staff go out and kind of in Dawson and Chetwynd and here and try to get some, to help it happen. I'm sorry, I don't 100% know the answer to that, if there is.
No, that's okay. That's, and don't, and that's fine. I mean, it's not always that we have the answers, and that's okay. It's just something I thought I'd ask in regards to, to me, it seems like this is a regional school district region. Gwillim Lake Adventure Race said all schools can participate, so
Yes.
there is students that come up from Dawson Creek and Chetwynd and that. And that's what my question was, is you know, the school board, as the board, not all the hours that you guys put in and donate and stuff like that, nor other organizations or companies,
Right.
but do they help fund it at all? That's, I mean, we'll be able to figure that out or send an email, but I was just curious on that.
Okay.
Any other questions from council? What's the total cost of the Gwillim Lake Adventure Race? Do you know what the total cost is?
I know that each year they try to, so what they've done in the past is if they can reuse things once they've accumulated, they, to try to save costs, they do that. I believe they try to raise about between $4,000 to $5,000-ish dollars. This year we have 18 teams out of 20. And I believe part of the reason that we were looking for a little bit more donations was because they were trying to help the volunteers and the team sponsors who were there, rather than they're just trying to do a little bit more with the event, just as an appreciation for those who were helping. But I don't know the total costs of running it. I know we have like over 20 volunteers over the weekend, and also on the committee, we've got probably about 10 to 15 people helping to kind of prep and things for that, but I don't know the total.
Okay, no, I appreciate that. Okay, any other questions from council? All right, well, thank you very much for coming in, filling us in and stuff like that, and we'll circle back to you here. Well, we don't make decisions during delegations, so we'll just have to try to figure out what way of putting it on another agenda to have a discussion with the council.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
For your time.
Would you mind grabbing Councillor Julick, please? All right, on the 7.1 consent agenda, take the recommendation, please. Councillor Noxana?
That all items on the May 6, 2024 consent agenda be moved for information.
Seconder. Councillor Julick, all in favor? Carried. Are there any items the council like to bring forward for discussion? Councillor Norbury.
7.5 for discussion, Mayor.
Okay, seconder. Councillor Noxana, all in favor? Carried. Councillor Norbury?
Would you like a recommendation right off the bat, or open for discussion?
Nope, I'm fine with the recommendation if you have one.
Thank you, Mayor Kakalka. I'd like to motion that we allow a fee reduction for Women's Golf Day for Tuesday, May 28th, 2024, for a 50% discount on green fees and cart rentals for women throughout the day.
Okay, seconder. Councillor Noxana. Discussion. Councillor Norbury?
Thank you, Mayor Kakalka. I think this is a great initiative. Thanks for the Tumble Ridge Ladies Golf League for bringing this back to us. I hope men's leagues takes notes, because I think I'd support it then as well. We can do similar things, I think, for Family Day, for any other types of days. Yeah, I think it's great. Thanks.
Ms. Torval, if I may, is the district planning it as an all-day event at the golf course since it's Women's Golf Day? Are you aware?
I'm not aware of what is being planned for this day. I know it is, I think it's the National Women's Golf Day or something like that, and so they're just trying to get more people out to golf, more ladies, I guess. I'm not sure what the plans are for the whole day.
Okay, thank you for that. Because that's my thoughts. Like, to me, instead of stipulating this for one organization as brought forward a letter, that we look at what it would look like in regards to doing the day. And to me, I'm in favor of green fees, like for the day, not just for an organization. But if we're looking at supporting Women's Golf Day, then to me, it should be that complete day. But to me, I don't know about the cart rentals. I think, we look at all the golf tournaments that we give back to the community and stuff, and if we keep doing this more and more, how do we offset the cost that we just went through a fairly lengthy discussion during budget would be my comments. But to me, I'm more in favor of something that would be broader, I guess, and I'm not saying it needs to be the Tuesday. If there was another day that staff was thinking of running a program and I can't remember what the program is, but I believe there was something posted up from the community center web Facebook page. And I can't remember what it was about. Forget. But there was something discount going on, and I can't remember what it was for. But I'd be more into that than just for one certain organization. Councillor Julik?
Yeah, I'm seeing here in the letter, they were actually asking for it for women throughout the day in the first paragraph, and then they go on to talk about 39 women benefiting from the discounted rate on that day alone. So I'm not sure, was it just for the ladies league that the motion was for? Sorry, I'm not remembering. So yeah, I think for women throughout the day, and I'm with you on that. And 50% on green fees and cart rentals. I'm not against that. I get where you're coming from budget-wise, but on this one, I'm willing to let it go. Plus, I agree with Councillor Norbury on the men. If they can pick up on that, that's a good thing for them too. Don't know if there's such thing as Men's Golf Day though, so.
It's every day. Ms. Torval, just be curious, like I understand, obviously there's a timeline to this. My thing is I just don't want to over-trump something maybe that staff has planned, and then we're doing it and staff is already working on something. I'm not sure if council would be in favor of deferring this until staff can have a look at that. Just so that we're not, maybe they have already something planned and it's something similar or something like that. But that's up to council, but that's just my thoughts. Like maybe something staff has already planned. And to me, the motion reads that it was just for that night, not during the day. Councilor Norbury, is that not your motion was just for the ladies league?
No, Mayor Kiyaka, the request is for Women's Golf Day and for all women.
Thank you. Councilor Knox-Center.
Thank you. I think if we approve this motion, if staff already had a plan for that day, they can always come back with that. We see an organization that's done the work already and have a plan for the day. I'm happy to vote in favor.
Okay, thank you. Any more discussion? Call the question. All in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Mayor Kakawa is opposed. Motion carries. And I just want to be advised that Councillor Dussault has joined us via Zoom. Councillor Knox-Center.
7.8.
7.8 for discussion. Seconder? I'll second that. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Councillor Knox-Center.
That the District of Tumbler Ridge Mayor and Council supports the Grizzly Valley ATV Club application to Northern Development Initiative Trust Marketing Initiatives Program in the amount of $12,750 for the Power Sports Adventure Filming in Tumbler Ridge project.
Seconder, Councillor Norbury. Discussion. Call the question. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Are there any other items council would like to bring forward for discussion? 7.6, please, for discussion. Councillor Norbury, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. I guess my only comment would be to Councillor Knox-Center and Councillor Dussault. This is just requesting if we want to meet with Northern Health at the NCLGA. I will not be attending NCLGA this year. So I would just think if you guys would like to meet with Northern Health to just advise Ms. Torval via email, and she can set the meeting up. I don't think a motion's needed. They've requested it, so now if that meets with your two schedules, if you want to do that, if you can just email Ms. Torval, and she'll make sure a time is set from Northern Health to meet with you guys. Okay. Anything else from correspondence? Okay. Moving on to bylaws. 8.1 is 2024-2028 financial plan bylaw number 737, 2024 for adoption. Report dated May 6, 2024 from the Deputy Corporate Officer seeking the adoption of the 2024 to 2028 financial plan bylaw number 737, 2024. Recommendation. Councillor Noxana.
That the District of Tumbler Ridge 2024-2028 financial plan bylaw number 737, 2024 is adopted.
Seconder, Councillor Hoffman. Discussion. Call the question. All in favor? Opposed? Councillor Julix opposed. Motion carries. 8.2, 2024 tax rate bylaw number 738, 2024 for adoption. Report dated May 6, 2024 from the Deputy Corporate Officer seeking the adoption of the 2024 tax rate bylaw number 738, 2024. Recommendation, please. Councillor Noxana.
That the District of Tumbler Ridge 2024 tax rate bylaw 738, 2024 is adopted.
Seconder, Councillor Hoffman. Discussion. Call the question. All in favor? Opposed? Councillor Julix opposed. Motion carries. Okay, moving on to 9.1 Junior Golf Project. Report dated May 6, 2024 from the Facilities Manager regarding the Junior Golf Project. Recommendation. Councillor Julix.
The council receives this report for discussion.
Seconder. Councillor Norbury. Councillor Julix. Oh, sorry, all in favor? Well, I'm just trying to move through it, eh? Apologize. Carried. Councillor Julix.
I thought the report was well written, and I took from it that staff thought that was the best way forward, and I thought it was some.
We'd like to call council.
Was a good. I thought it was a good way to solve the issue, and I appreciate that the golf project can go forward. I think it's a good initiative on behalf of our community. Thank you to all those making it happen, including staff.
Thank you. Any more discussion? Councillor Norbury.
The council directs administration to work with Keith Bertrand to organize a junior golf project that will operate out of the Tumbler Ridge Golf Country Club Pro Shop.
Okay. Seconder, Councillor Julix. Discussion. So I actually don't think it'd be with staff's just going to do this with the GL. Money's already being given by the organization. Sorry, I think it was an alternative one if we didn't want this other way to go. But this is what we asked staff to see if they could do it on behalf of Men's and Ladies Night that had raised these funds to support the youth going golfing with a parent or guardian. So, yeah. So the motion's on the floor. So it's to me. I mean, if there's any other discussion, yeah, seconded. It's on the floor. So I'm going to call the question. All in favor? Opposed? Councillor Julix, Councillor Hoffman, Councillor Noxana, Councillor Norbury, and Councillor Dussault, and Mayor Kralka opposed. Motion is defeated. Okay, moving on. Ridge Roaders Incorporated Airport Land Lease Renewal. Report dated May 6, 2024 from Deputy Corporate Officer seeking the renewal of the land lease with Ridge Roaders Incorporated. Recommendation. Councillor Noxana.
That council authorizes the renewal of the airport land lease between the District of Tumbler Ridge and Ridge Roaders Incorporated for a 5-year term beginning April 1st, 2024 and ending March 31st, 2029 at a monthly lease rate of $130 plus GST, and that council authorizes the mayor and corporate officer to sign the agreement.
Seconder. Councillor Julix. Discussion. Call the question. All in favor? Motion carries. 9.3 Grizzly Valley Saddle Club lease renewal. Report dated May 6, 2024, from the Executive Assistant seeking the renewal of the land lease with Grizzly Valley Saddle Club. Recommendation, Councilor Norbury.
The council authorizes the mayor and corporate officer to sign a renewal lease with the Grizzly Valley Saddle Club for a 5-year term beginning June 1st, 2024 to May 31st, 2029 at an annual rate of $1.
Okay, seconder. Councilor Noxana. Discussion. Councilor Julik.
I was just wondering if I could get some history. It seems like it's a 5-year thing, it's $1, like it seems fairly straightforward. I guess if I could get some history, I could do it on my own too. I just wondered, maybe from yourself or Councilor Norbury, some history. It's still, from what I understand, that land still belongs to the District of Tumbler Ridge. Do we ever go in and inspect? Do we have any sense of responsibility that way? Like, the lease seems fairly minimal. I'm not willing to, make a motion that it change or anything. I just wonder if there's some opportunity if in the future we wanted to be a little more proactive on keeping things.
Ms. Torval? Sorry, the reason I go to staff is I don't have all that background.
Okay, thank you. You want some history on this? Well, let me tell you, back in the day, the very first lease with the Grizzly Valley Saddle Club was a 25-year lease. And it was held kind of with the Saddle Club through the province because it was a license of occupation, one of those deals. So, yeah. So it was a 25-year lease, and that was through under the Municipal Act, and that, of course, was before the community charter came into play, was adopted. And so since the community charter, and I know we top our leases off to 5 years, and that is in accordance with the community charter. So now the Saddle Club has been coming back after their 25-year lease expired. I think this is their second or third time since. And so we've been doing the 5-year lease with them.
Okay. Any follow-up? Ms. Torval, now, when they have a caretaker on site, that's a total different scenario than the lease, correct? I was
correct.
thinking maybe some clarity, just so we know exactly what this includes.
Yeah, that is correct. There is a caretaker on the property. They have their own residence there, and they pay their taxes on their residence.
Yeah, so that is a bit different. Councilor Norbury and then Councilor Hoffman.
Thank you, Mayor Kikaka. The only comment that I'd make is that we haven't heard anything negative from the Saddle Club. That's great. They look after the property. They take care of themselves. They're bringing things to the community. They do like the Christmas tree, the Christmas decorating out there, and sometimes they do like some stuff in the arena there. Yeah, nothing but good times.
Thank you. Councilor Hoffman.
Thank you, Mayor. I too have not heard anything negative, but I haven't heard much of anything at all. I would actually appreciate asking them to come in just to give us sort of the background that Councillor Julik was asking for. I have no problem approving this. Just not sure like 5 years, but I'm not going to make waves over this, but I would like to hear from them.
Okay. We can after this motion goes through, we can put another motion on the floor that staff reaches out and asks them to come in for a delegation, update council on what their projects are for the year and such. And my thing is they're always willing to communicate. I mean, I've had some good conversations with the Saddle Club, so I do support the motion on the floor. They've done a lot of things in regards to the poker ride, the decorating at Christmas time. They've had, I'm going to get the word wrong. I was just trying to see if it was in here, but they've had rides out there. Sorry? Paint the donkey. Yeah, like they do a lot. They run their own. They have their own board that oversees the rental and all that. I don't know if the district has any maintenance costs at the Saddle Club, like whether it's freezer water lines. Is that taken care of all by the Saddle Club, or does the DTR take care of that?
Not to my knowledge, we don't have anything to do with them. Very minimal, if any.
Okay. Thank you. Any more discussion? Okay, going to call the question. The motion on the floor is that council authorizes the mayor and corporate officer to sign a renewal lease with the Grizzly Valley Saddle Club for a 5-year term beginning June 1st, 2024 to May 31st, 2029, at an annual rate of $1. Nicole, a question, all in favor? Motion carries. Councillor Hoffman.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to make a motion that we ask staff to invite the Saddle Club for a delegation to give us an update on what they've been doing the last few years and what they plan on doing for the next few.
Okay, seconder, Councillor Julik. Any discussion? Call the question, all in favor? Motion carries. Okay, moving on to development variance permit application approval, 171 Cascatna Avenue. Report dated May 6, 2024, from the Director of Protective Services regarding development variance permit application approval for 171 Cascatna Avenue. Recommendation, Councillor Noxana.
That council authorizes the development variance permit application submitted for 171 Cascatna Crescent, Lot 55, Plan Number PGP 29399.
Okay, seconder, Councillor Julik. Discussion. Councillor Julik.
I just wanted to note, it says Avenue on one part of the report and Crescent on the other, so if we just want to make, I don't know what that looks like for folks in the corporate officer thing, but just a heads up.
Ms. Torval.
Yes, thank you. Noted. We'll get this fixed up.
We'll use the right address.
Yeah, we will.
Perfect. Any other discussion? Councillor Clickash.
Yes, Your Worship. I just don't understand why we have to have a development variance permit for a building that size in the backyard.
I think it's over our allotment until our zoning bylaw comes back before council. But Ms. Torval?
Yes, thank you. I will refer to Mr. Curry, since he's been working with the residents on this file.
Thank you, Ms. Torval. Good evening, Mayor and Council. So this application isn't for anything in the backyard for a building size. This is an addition similar to what was built at 140 Birch, little boot room onto the front of the property. Normally, this would be handled under a board of variance, and we've previously had that in the past. However, it has not been used in some time. You'll notice that I do make mention of that in the, I believe it's the governance section of the report, that if council did want to come back and reestablish a board of variance, they certainly can do so. We would just have to look at a bylaw and then the appointments as such under the bylaw in order to try and streamline a lot of these processes. We're currently using the board of variance, or sorry, the development variance process, which is a larger, more constrictive process to accommodate these small minor variances.
Thank you. Follow up, Councillor Clickash.
Yes, Your Worship. I couldn't see where there was any thing that would require even a board of variance. Board of variance only it's only good for like 10% of the encroachment. But is there an encroachment there?
I think it's because you're, I don't know what the, I'll go to staff, but I know you're only allowed to be so many meters out from your house to the street. And I believe this does not meet that. They're asking for that variance to allow them to come closer to the, I think it's 7
I see what
meters.
you mean.
But
Okay.
Ms. Torval, I'll confirm it for you because I don't want to say.
That is correct.
Thank you. Okay, any other follow-up? Councillor Clickash.
No, that's great. Thanks.
No, you're welcome. Any more discussion? Okay, going to call the question. All in favor? Motion carries. Okay, schedule of meetings. Anything from council? Councillor Julik.
I see that our regular council meeting is on the 21st. I don't think that will cause a conflict, but there will be 3 of us in Kelowna on the 21st. I'm pretty sure we could still join. I just wonder if it makes sense to bump it to the 27th or not. Just wanted to see the flavor of council and staff on that.
Okay, thank you. What's council think of that? So I will be one that will be attending Keep It Rule in Kelowna, and there's 2 councillors at this point traveling. Councillor Hoffman and Councillor Norbury.
I actually agree. I think with 3 of us out of the room, it might just be a good idea to bump it to the next week.
Councillor Norbury?
Yeah, I feel the same way. If almost half of us are going to be gone, let's just reschedule. Thanks.
Ms. Torval from staff side, my thing is we have quorum, so I'm fine either way. But from staff side, is that an issue to move the schedule from the 21st to the 27th?
At this point, I don't see an issue. Whatever is the will of council, we'll make it work.
Okay, so we'll just need a motion on the floor to move the meeting. Councilor Norbury?
Thank you, Mayor Kakaka. I'll motion that we move the May 21st regular council meeting to May 27th.
Seconder, Councilor Julik. Discussion? Okay, call the question. All in favor? Motion carries. Okay, anything else from council in regards to scheduling meetings? Anything from staff?
Thank you, council. I was just wondering if everyone is okay with 13th, the Policies and Priorities Committee meeting next week, being that it is NCLGA Convention Week.
Yep.
Just some
Yeah.
consideration, maybe.
Yeah, we have two councilors traveling there, so I guess it's up to them, but, yeah, that's why I said the same thing about the 21st is quorum if somebody can't sign in, but, Councilor Dussault?
Yes.
You had your hand
Can
up?
you hear me?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I was also looking at the 10th of June. Are we all going to be back from FCM by then?
I would think so. It ends on Sunday, so,
Okay,
yeah, it should be okay, whether people are flying
All right.
back or driving. Should be able to make it.
yeah, I'll be flying back, so,
Okay.
okay.
Councilor Julik?
The reason I was concerned about the 21st is there would be quorum unless one person was missing. So that's why I had thought we would bump the other with two being gone, the odds of two missing from council. So I think if Councillor Noxana and Councillor Dussault are fine with the meeting going on, I'm okay to keep it on the 13th.
Yeah, I mean, they can zoom in too, and I understand it's tough, everybody wants to be there and stuff, and like, that's why I said the same thing with the 21st. We have quorum, and if something happens that quorum wasn't met, then that meeting would just, that's when they contact, hey, sorry, you guys zooming in, but I'm fine with moving that one, and if we keep the 13th, as long as council's good with that, I'm good with that. Okay. Okay, any notice of motions? Okay. I have the notice of motion from the week, or the meetings before. BC Wildfire Service Control Burns, notice of motion brought forward by Mayor Kukalka at the April 15th, 2024 regular council meeting. I'm going to move the recommendation that staff reaches out to BC Wild Services about control burns with the support of the DTR Fire Department within the municipality. Seconder, Councillor Noxana, discussion. So, and I've talked to staff, and I understand in regards to looking at the grant for the Fire Smart and that coordinator, and also with the Ministry of Forest there, that the BC Wildfire Service was talking about how, it looks like they're going to put an RFP out to reevaluate out 2.5 kilometers from the 1.5 kilometers that the Fire Smart program will do. But to me, this is within the municipality, so to me, it's up to BC Wildfire Services and the fire department. So to me, I'm sorry, I don't want to say staff, but to the fire department. Ideas I had were like behind Bergeron, maybe at the walking trail, like let them have a look and see if there's something that is a risk there that maybe they can deal with. I've seen it coming up lots and lots more in other municipalities. I'll be honest, I've hammered BC Wildfire Services, and I didn't mean it directly to BC Wildfire Service, more the government. But obviously, I speak a lot about BC Wildfire Service, but it's the government side of it. And I was reached out by an individual from there asking, like, have you ever thought of this concept? So that's why I put the motion forward. Councilor Norbury.
Thank you, Mayor Kakaka. Can you tell me more about like the process of controlled burns in the area? Because I mean, sometimes you only hear about things when they go wrong. And the only experience that I've heard of with controlled burns is when you hear when they go wrong. Like, sometimes they can get out of control. Like, do you happen to know what the percentage chances of that happening are? Is it 1 out of 100, 1 out of 1,000? Yeah. I'm not against the idea, but I do have some concerns about intentionally lighting fires in our community.
Yeah. I don't have that information, and that's why I say to let them come and have a look. I mean, to me, I think that's why I suggested with our fire department. due to water capacities and such and hydrant use and stuff. But, my understanding when I had some dialogue is they do it a border around it first before it's even ignited. It's only ignited if the criteria is met. So that's kind of why I put it out there. It might not even happen when staff reaches out to them. They may be already at capacity with the ones they're doing, and at this point they don't think they can do anymore, or they come to Tumbler Ridge and work with staff and realize that no, there is none that really could be done, whether it's because of safety or because it's not needed. Councillor Norbury, then Councillor Julik.
Thank you, Mayor Kakalka. Fair enough. So thank you for explaining that. Like, if this is to go out and first get an understanding, almost like create a report for us if this is viable, I would support it then. I was just a little concerned about, we're going out, we're doing burns. So thank you for clarifying.
Councillor Julik.
Yeah, and just to further clarify for me, because just to further clarify, so this is a request to BC Wildfire to work with our fire department, Chief Curry, to see if there's the possibility or the need to do a controlled burn over and above what they had recommended, the 2.5 kilometers out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so the 2.5 kilometers out is an RFP for this year. That doesn't get looked at till next year.
Okay.
So this was something that, I did talk to staff. I'm not saying it was fully supported. I can't speak on for staff. They didn't say no, but I don't want to speak that they were supported because, that's up to them to talk about that. But again, that's why I wanted to involve staff, the fire department, to work with them, because that's what they're doing with all the other municipalities. And like I said, when they come to evaluate with staff, they may say that it's not worth it. There's no liability, there's no risk there, or the risk is too minor to bring in a bunch of fire personnel.
Okay.
So, Councillor Knox and I, when we attended Kofi, we had a discussion with BC Wildfire Services there as well, and it was talked about that as well with them, brought up from their side. We just kind of, obviously you get into a bit of a discussion, and there was talk even involving council. Like, that's how very low risk this would be, where we could be not with our fire department, but actually lined up with maybe somebody from BC Welfare Service. Because to me, I think we definitely don't want to give direction to staff on a scene. But there was talk about that if you wanted to go down there, you'd actually be able to, see what it's all about if they were to do it. So, again, I just think it's a good working relationship and letting staff do their job. That, again, it may never happen.
Follow up. So do we have, is our fire department, Chief Curry, able to do this assessment without involving BC Wildfire? Is this a specialty thing, or?
I put the motion up for BC Wildfire Service because then there's more manpower. Ms. Torval?
Thank you. I will ask the expert in the room.
Thank you, Ms. Torval. Mayor and Council, I would strongly recommend, due to the vast square footage of real estate that the municipality has, that we would involve BC Wildfire Service in anything that we would do in terms of any type of controlled or prescribed burning event. There's a lot of crown land that even though it's still municipal, it's still crown land that's out there, that we wouldn't want to jeopardize anything from getting away from us, understanding that we are going to be resource limited. We're going to be able to do what we can in a very smaller, confined area. So we definitely wouldn't want that to get away on us.
Okay, thank you for that. New information.
Yes, so for me, it was just clarifying if we had to bring BC Wildfire in to make the assessment, or if staff could make that assessment.
It sounded like from staff just now that's the right route they would like to do.
Okay.
Okay, going to call the question. And the motion on the floor is that staff reaches out to BC Wildfire Services about control burns with the support of the DTR Fire Department within the municipality. Call the question. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Councillor's business. Again, thanks, Councillor Norbury. And anything from the floor. Councillor Knoxell.
Thank you. I just want to commend School District 59 and the YMCA on the announcement today that they were approved funding for the new spaces build. So there'll be a new purpose-built childcare center here in Tumbler Ridge. It's super, super exciting. And I just wanted to note that this is the third application that's been put in for the District of Tumbler Ridge, and there's been hundreds of hours worked towards this. So it's just really exciting for the future of Tumbler. And then also I stopped by the high school this weekend. They had kids in there building go-karts, and Miss Hewitt wants to make sure that everybody knows to save the date for May 31st. It's race day in Tumbler Ridge, and they really want to have a crowd out there. So they're really hoping that mayor and council and any staff that's free are able to attend. And when I stopped by, the girls' team had just gotten their go-kart running, and they were the first team out of 6 to get theirs running. And they were working with our own Angela Zimmer, who's the mechanic with the District of Tumbler Ridge. So it was pretty cool because, you know, the girls' team is awesome, obviously.
Agreed. Councillor Julik.
Yes, I was going to say girl power. I just wanted to note that we had our healthcare meeting at the end of April, and we had a really good attendance, and those minutes should be in the next agenda. But it was really cool. We had 3 doctors in the room, and it was all good news. So the minutes should be at the next whatever regular meeting.
Perfect, thank you. Any other councillor business? Okay, I have quite a bit to talk about. First off, I'll let Councillor Julik know there was a support letter that they were requesting, and that has been signed and sent off by staff. I also attended the CART program at the high school this weekend. Yeah, it looks great. The youth are doing an amazing job. They're engaged, excited. You know, learning to weld. There's every youth down there knows how to weld, and you know, like there's some comments. We might not be very good, but we can weld. And I said we can weld better than the mayor, so that's a good start. So they're really enjoying it, and I mean, I want to thank staff to be able to, you know, have the time to be able to allow some of our staff to go down there and participate. I think that is huge. To see even the staff involved with our youth and how they're working through the program with our youth, it's just fantastic to see. I think your staff is getting a lot from it as well. You know, so I was down there, Angela Zimmer was down there. Geez, I'm going to forget all their names now. Blaine Stokes, and I can't remember the other gentleman, but to me, they are engaged with the youth, and I think they're learning just as much from these young people that, and they're teaching them. So, you know, the teachers are down there, Mr. Noxana, right engaged with the youth, and you know, hats off. I mean, my children are fairly old, so we never had that program when they went through the school, but to see the kids engaged like that, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. Even hearing from some of the contractors that are working down there that they can't believe a little small town is doing this with our youth. So I think hopefully we can get some really good support. You know, maybe we can do some support letters to School District 59 and the Education Minister looking for a one-time grant or something that could be invested in, and we only take the interest out, or that group would only take out the interest to help support the CART program moving forward year after year. A couple of things. I was in Victoria with Ms. Torval, met with some ministers. There will be reports coming from that, from notes and stuff like that. So the first meeting we had was with Minister of Housing. Good news, I think good news. So he did have himself in there. We had our MLA, Mike Bernier, in there, and he had his staff, and then again, he had BC Housing on Zoom. So I started off the meeting with that there was promises made by Malachi from BC Housing, not just to the mayor and council, but also to our local residents. The minister didn't say much at first. We went through a bit of information, then he went to Malachi, and Malachi, you know, like he said, I don't want to make excuses. All I can do is say I'm sorry. I said I thank you for that. Didn't say I accepted it. To me, I think he has to own up to it. So it was weird because as the conversation went, somebody had mentioned from BC Housing that we had a representative from BC Housing within the municipality on that same day. So I cut them off fairly quickly and asked the minister, how does that not seem weird to you? That everybody knew that this was the meeting, this was the date, and all of a sudden now we have somebody from BC Housing in Tumbler Ridge doing evaluation on the buildings. I said, I don't understand it. So the promise from the minister is to give him 2 weeks. So we are in week 1. So week 1 is just come to a conclusion. We can't, you know, we met with them Wednesday, so you can't say Wednesday to Wednesday. We got to give it till Friday by the time we get home. So 2 weeks we should hear from the minister. So to me, it sounded like the promise from the minister was they're going to, I said, instead of wasting money, that's taxpayer dollars, that to me to demolish these buildings and not make sure that they are not renovatable, that to please, let's make sure. So it sounds like they're going to dialogue offline, like without us in the room, so I'm not sure what was decided on. There seems like there may be 2 units down there that that's why they were up here on Thursday. They may not have to be demolished. So those ones may be able to be renovated and then obviously put on out there. So we just have to wait to hear back, but the promise was 2 weeks. So I'll be honest, I'll give it 2 weeks and then emails and phone calls will start. We were pretty frank. I'll go to Ms. Torval too at the end, but we were pretty frank, and I think he liked that, and I liked it from his side. He pretty much said the same thing. I just got to be frank with you, and I said that's how I'd rather that. I don't want to go back thinking that we got a bunch of shiny rocks to take back to the municipality. But to me, he said 2 weeks, and then he'll dialogue back with the mayor and council and staff, and see where we're at. I'll be honest. To me, if they do demolish the buildings, there's talk about that, possibly not the 2, but they are coming up. They didn't give a date. But they did bring somebody on board, and I want to say her name was Amy. And again, I don't have all the notes. Ms. Torval will. But it sounds like they're ready that problem is going to be made. They're going to come up and do the engagement, find out what's needed, and then work through that process. So again, I spoke about this a couple of years ago and how great it was when I met with the ministries with staff. Came back, it seemed like it worked because we had a meeting here within a month. The promises were made, didn't happen. Again, I was down there. Promises were made. I believe the minister didn't seem too happy, I guess, just his facial expression when he learned there was a promise made and not owned up by BC Housing. It seemed like there was some concern. So before we finished the meeting off, I did bring up a concern, and to me, it's about our Hartford Court. And some of the comments I've heard from the seniors there is that what's going to happen to us over here too, just like Chamberlain. We don't do any service or upkeep or any maintenance on this building here. It's going to get that bad, and then they'll kick us out and demolish these ones. So I mentioned that to the minister too, that there needs to be a budget set to make sure that we're doing proper maintenance and upkeep at Hartford Court. I'm well aware there was an individual up at Hartford Court doing an evaluation. I don't know. I didn't get the list. It's not my thing at Forte there or my business to be involved, but I heard from the residents there was somebody that went through it. Explain it to the residents that this is not approved budget yet, but he's setting a list in. So I asked the minister there to please make sure that whatever that number is, that number gets approved because the maintenance needs to happen because it hasn't happened when we have frost on the walls within that building. So again, one more week is all we have to wait. And then again, we'll dialogue from there. After that meeting, I realized just being down there and watch things that Mr. Bernier seemed to get along with Adrian Dix really well. And so I said to him, if there's something he could do for us while we were there, was to get a meeting. I said, we emailed him. Okay, staff, I won't say we because I shouldn't use the word we. Staff emailed multiple times looking for a meeting with the health minister with no response from his staff or himself or that. So we left and Mr. Bernier went to bat and we ended up with a meeting that afternoon on Wednesday. So we met with the minister at 4:40. He was fairly comfortable. Day end it was over for him, so he was pretty relaxed and stuff in there. Again, we just dialogued, and there was a couple things we dialogued about was transportation and Meals on Wheels. I brought that up. His staff member is going to respond back to the district. There is an avenue for funding for Meals on Wheels without taxpayer dollars. So already been set, kind of like I was mentioned, so I know that they're going to dialogue back with staff. No guarantee that there's funding there, but there is a funding model for Meals on Wheels to have that support. The other thing that the minister had mentioned to me there when I talked about Meals on Wheels and he asked about our senior center, I said, yeah, I think it's very active. I believe Forever Young is very active. They have breakfast Fridays. They always have a meal on holidays, whether it's Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas and such. It's going to dialogue back with me a little bit more. I got to go meet with Forever Young because I don't want to speak out of turn on their behalf. But it sounds like he may be able to, there might be some funding model there to help do more dinners in person there. And open them up and stuff like that. So I think that's a good thing. So, and he thought maybe that was kind of like when I was talking about Meals on Wheels, I said, no, that's a different thing. That's this. He's like, oh, yeah. And then his staff member stood up and said that they had some stuff. So the next day we were able to meet with Minister of Mines. Yeah, that one, I mean, I have had a conversation with Kanuma. I told him I wanted to update council, but I did give him an overview. I mean, they would have heard from Emily anyways, which is the permitting process. So I did talk with Ms. Torval Wednesday evening, kind of debated it through myself, tried to rethink it over and over on how to open the meeting with the minister and how to end it. So we heed and hawed. I went in early, actually. I'll talk about that later, but I did go in earlier because I was invited by another ministry to come in earlier, but Ms. Torval was busy, so she couldn't attend. So Ms. Torval came in early. We were up there early enough that after question and answer period, Minister Osborne had come through, and I guess we're on the first name basis because she first called me Daryl and then realized that she's supposed to call, use mayor or whatever. So it was kind of common. We had a good laugh about it. So we did go in, and I said to Ms. Torval when we walked in, I said, I'm just going to do it. Just going to wing it. I'm going to do it the way I was going to open it. So I walked in and trying to think the lady's name that was there. I had it too in my brain, but whatever. One of her staff members from permitting was there. They had Zoom set up, and it's a fairly big table, but a tight office. So they were moving the Zoom around because nobody was going to join with Zoom, and everybody's getting ready to sit. So I said to the minister, whoa. Before we sit, I've been trying to look at the light here. I'm not really sure where the great place is to stand and get the picture with the big permit. And everybody asked for the picture with the big check. I want a picture with the big permit, and I'll take the permit back to Tumble Ridge when we leave. All she said was, that's the way to open a meeting. So, it didn't get us anything. We didn't get the permit. We didn't, There was some information that they asked that I didn't have answers for. I did dialogue back with Kanuma, and Kanuma was able to supply them now. So I will be dialoguing back with the minister and her staff member from permitting just to say that here's the answer. They already have it. So like Kanuma said, they already had that. So their concern was the settlement ponds at Wolverine, taking the coal from Quintet to Wolverine. And of course, I didn't want to speak out of turn because, we've had different scenarios with Kanuma Coal where we're going to be looking at the Herman project and such. And I couldn't remember if the plant was going there or what. But again, the Herman project mining was going to Wolverine's plant anyways. So they have way more capacity than they actually need for the coal that's out at Quintet. So I'm going to dialogue back with them. I've had a chat with Kanuma, with Lisa from Kanuma, and filled her in. They've dialogued back. Last week I did hear that they have all letters of support in from the First Nations. So I'll be dialoguing that back to the minister and her permitting staff. Again, just really trying to get the timeline for the coal hole. So we tried for so it was called Early Works. It's no longer called the Early Works permit. It is now called the Little Windy Restart. So we were trying to push for that as well. But from Kanuma's side, if they can get the coal haul approved, that'll offset some time being used up for this Little Windy Restart. So again, I'm in dialogue with Kanuma probably every day or every couple of days, so I will continue to work on that. But I really did hope to have that. Not that they give me a permit to bring back to Kanuma Coal. I don't work for them, but it would have been neat. But it didn't happen. But my promise here is to keep working. That we need Kanuma Coal. Kanuma Coal has obviously moved people over to Quintet, so they're going through their process. And I did explain to them that council, my understanding from council, and if I am speaking out of turn, please speak up if you're not in support. But my understanding from all of us and all the meetings we've had, we definitely support it. My job is to help them do whatever I can to help them get their shortening of their permits or their Quintet coal haul. So that's what I'll be working on. Before a meeting with the Minister of Mines, I was invited by Minister of Emergency Management, Minister Maw's staff to come down and meet with Minister Maw and get to meet her new baby. So I took up her on the offer, and then she asked if I'd like to join in question and answer period. So yes, I did, and I'll be honest. We had a great dialogue with Minister Maw. There was no ask there. We just dialogued, got to meet the baby, and then question and answer period. She introduced myself and that, and she did a great job. But that dialogue is really good, I believe, to have with any of the ministers. So they only asked from Minister Maw that I asked, and she just asked me to dialogue back with her chief of staff, which I've sent an email just waiting for a response. And that's in regards to when we do activate the EOC, that so at certain points at certain times, and I appreciate staff for involvement and updates and stuff like that. So at no means do I mean that I don't believe that we got proper 100%. We got the best updates from our staff and our EOC, and obviously our chief was updating us nightly and stuff like that. But I said to me how important it is, whether it's the mayor, the deputy mayor, or the chair of a regional district, to actually be in those meetings live. Something happened back in the day that something went awry, and so she just asked to dialogue back. She wants to look into that a bit more. I said we understand that some things can't come out of those meetings. Obviously staff's in there. There's some things that are said. Totally get that as a mayor, but to be able to have that proper update for council, I think it's important, and taking some of the weight off the EOC, because we're really lucky with our EOC for the updates we received nightly. Sometimes in the morning I got one. compared to, other areas, and I mean, I'll use the PRRD for example. I mean, there was they were busy, but they bring in contractors, so, it was a different update. So, I mean, I totally appreciate staff for the updates last year, letting the involvement from mayor and council in regards to those updates in the evenings makes a big difference, but that's about all I got, I think. I had some other stuff. Soto's grand opening of their complex will be pushed off till, I believe it's end of June and July. Another email will be coming, Ms. Torval. It was mentioned at the board-to-board meeting in Dawson Creek with Soto. There's some wait times that they won't be able to meet that date. Golf tournaments will be coming. Soto will be putting on a couple golf tournaments in Dawson Creek. So when the invites come, I'll send them to council. Please do not, if you plan on it, if you want to go golfing, please do not wait, as they fill up very, very fast. And that was asked by Chief Paquette. And the other thing that they mentioned, that was Pemmican Day. So Chief Paquette thanks us for the ones that could attend. His only suggestion would be to enter some of the hand games and stuff like that. I did explain to him it's a little tough when we're going with 3 counselors on a tug-of-war with 3 counselors after seeing his team out there. So I said if we could borrow a couple of his family members, I'm all in. But yeah, so if we do, I mean, I do plan on going to Pemmican Days, but if we want to enter any of the things, like we need to have, whether staff wants to be involved too. I mean, to me, that invite's out there for staff, but it'd be nice to be able to, whether it's the hand games or tug-of-war or stuff like that, but he just wanted to make sure we knew that, and again, the dialogue to send it back to staff and council. Councilor Knox-Center.
Thank you. I know we finalized our budget, but is there, and maybe it comes out of our council budget, is there a way to get prizes or giveaways or things for when we attend things like some sort of swag, Pemmican Days, Westmo Days?
Yeah, so I don't know what budget comes out of. I don't want to get involved, but I know, so I appreciate that comment. So last year we were at Pemmican Days. I mean, I'll be honest, first time I've been I've been invited every year. Sometimes it doesn't line up, so I was able to attend, and I learned something at Pemmican Days from Soto and their members and their nation, but I also learned lots from Halfway and Doig River, and that is bringing a gift to share. No nation travels to another nation without a gift to share, and not just share with the chief and his council, but to share. So we missed that. I did send an apology or publicly apologize to the nation while I was there. For Westmo, we did not forget to do that. So going forward, staff's well aware if anybody is attending, even if it's one person, that we take a gift, and a gift that we can share with the people, their people. So I believe at Westmo we took watermelon. They were. It was well talked about by Chief Wilson on the opening night there, talking about all the watermelons. So stuff like that, that's kind of, some bring water, but it is a gift. And I didn't realize it, so I took the, again, I've never been before. And so I apologize. And going forward, I think anytime we go, and I'll be honest, we do that now. Like when we have Westmo or Soto or Cloud Lake, if it's a council to council, or even if I meet with them, I always have a gift. Sometimes it's just a little bit of swag or whatever, but we always present them with a gift. It's just the right tradition to use. I just didn't realize it at Pemmican Days. I should have known better. That was my fault. Anything else? Any questions from council with minister meetings or anything like that? There'll be more minutes coming from staff. Okay. Question and answer period, Ms. Torval. Any questions? Okay, thank you. Take a resolution to close, please. Councillor Knox-Center.
That the May 6, 2024 regular council meeting be closed to the public according to section 91C, G, and J of the Community Charter to permit discussions about labor relations or other employee relations, litigation or potential litigation affecting the municipality, and information that is prohibited or information that if it were presented in a document would be prohibited from disclosure under Section 21 of the Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act.
Seconder. Councillor Hoffman, all in favor? Carried. 5-minute recess.